A little over a year ago, I had the privilege of attending the Nobel Conference, a large gathering held at Gustavus Adolphus College where scientists, ethicists, and theologians get together to discuss a hot-button scientific issue. Last year's topic was soil, one that doesn't seem too interesting, but is really quite exciting when you dig into it. Before attending the conference, I had begun considering becoming more environmentally conscious in my own life, but didn't know how to begin. Have you ever wanted to do something really important but didn't know how to start? While I was there, I learned about a simple soil restoration technique called lasagna gardening. It piqued my interest, and I decided to do some research at home and found that it really works. In this speech, I'll explain the steps necessary to create your own lasagna garden, explaining the materials necessary and the steps needed to care and assemble your own lasagna garden. First, I'll explain the materials necessary to create your lasagna garden. There are two main kinds of materials. The first is organic matter. Organic matter is defined by Webster's Dictionary as matter that was recently living. This comes from plants and animals and is a source of nitrogen and phosphorus for the soil, two chemicals that are incredibly important according to the Sustainable Agricultural Research and Education Association, or SARE. Organic matter is incredibly common, and there are some household items that you can use in your lasagna garden. These include coffee grounds, grass clippings, and fruit and vegetable scraps. If you have a composter, compost is also a really great source of organic matter, but it's not necessary for your lasagna garden. The second kind of material you'll need is dead matter. Dead matter is defined by Webster's Dictionary as matter that has been dead for quite a while. Dead matter is a great source of carbon for the soil, according to SARE, and is really common in household items like cardboard, newspaper, dead leaves, and pine needles. You can also use hay or mulch in your lasagna garden if you have it readily available, but again, is not necessary. To create your lasagna garden, you'll also need some basic gardening equipment like a garden hose and a trowel. Second, I'll explain the steps necessary to assembling and caring for your lasagna garden. Assembling your garden is really easy. It's called lasagna gardening because you layer dead matter and organic matter like you would layer a lasagna. The first step you'd want to take is marking out the area that you want to use for your garden. When you do this process, you don't need to till the land or weed or anything. All the weeds will be taken care of during the breakdown process. After you mark out the area you're going to use, lay down a layer of dead matter, or a brown layer. I recommend using cardboard for your first layer as this provides a sturdy base and blocks out sunlight, which kills weeds and encourages decomposers to live in your garden. After laying down a brown layer, add a layer of organic matter, or a green layer. This can include grass clippings, cut flowers, or any organic matter you have. When layering your brown and green layers, your brown layers should be twice as high as your green layers. When your garden is complete, it should be 8 to 12 inches tall. Between each layer, using a watering hose, water each layer thoroughly. This enables the breakdown process to happen quicker. The water helps to break down the materials, which enables them to enter the soil. Once your garden is complete, there are some steps you need to take care of your garden. Before even completing it, if you don't know where to start, an expert that you can contact is someone at your local garden center or nursery. I found this really helpful when creating my lasagna garden myself. If you create a lasagna garden in the fall, it's recommended that you leave your garden fallow or without seeds until the spring season so all the materials in your garden have time to decompose. If you create your garden in the spring or summer and want to plant immediately, it's recommended that you add a layer of topsoil to the top instead of a brown layer so you can plant immediately. If you don't choose to plant, it's recommended that you leave your garden fallow for at least 1 year so everything in your garden has time to decompose. In the fall, before the winter season, it's recommended that you lay a black tarp over your lasagna garden for the winter. This blocks all sunlight, effectively killing any weeds you have left in your garden, and also encourages decomposers like worms to live in your garden as well. The nutrients given to the soil during this breakdown process will make your soil and eventually your plants healthier, which is what everyone needs for their garden. In this speech, I explained the necessary steps to assembling and caring for your own lasagna garden. I described the materials you'll need to assemble it yourself, I detailed the steps you need to take, and the care that comes after creating your lasagna garden. Using household items like cardboard and grass clippings, you can turn a seemingly daunting task like soil restoration into a fun at-home project that is great for the planet. Doing something important doesn't need to be difficult. Sometimes it's as easy as getting your hands dirty and trying something new.